Slaves were taught how to become managers and secretaries and cooks and chauffeurs and how to...
All right, this is way more white nationalist talking points now.
What's the biggest misconception black liberals have about you?
That we are self-hating, we hate our mom, we hate our dad, we don't know history.
We're out of touch, is that we don't have any real world experiences.
We don't really know what we're doing.
What is a misconception black conservative people have about you?
Probably that I have no moral character.
I believe in chaos and anarchy.
And you don't?
No, I believe in the rule of law. I literally cannot comprehend the notion of anyone being American and black and having conservative views.
When you're online behind the screen, behind the black mirror, you can say pretty much whatever you want, do whatever you want, but when you're right here, you gotta be a little bit more human.
My name is Kevin Martin. I'm a business consultant. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, born into and raised in a conservative household, and I'm still a conservative.
My name is Xavier. I'm born and raised Los Angeles. I'm liberal.
Hi, I'm Elisa. I'm definitely as far left as one can walk.
I'm
Doubt
Anthony
it.
Logan.
She's not
I'm
a
from
socialist.
Virginia originally, grew up in a socially conservative household, but very politically liberal. I'm conservative now, and I'm looking forward to hearing all you guys' point of view.
My name is Lady Kate Barelle. I am a conservative Republican.
All right, can I get my black liberals on the left and my black conservatives on the right?
Say that again.
Why did I say liberals and conservatives? They're all black, right?
Liberals on the left, conservatives to the right.
Okay.
If you agree with the prompt, you'll
Wait. Why would they include that in? Why wouldn't they just edit that out? That seems a little unnecessary. Why? Okay.
walk forward. If not, you'll stay back. People need to get over slavery.
All right, so I guess I started off. I mean, we all know that slavery was a terrible thing.
Yes.
It was an atrocity.
Right.
It was a human tragedy. But
Yes.
we can't just be talking about slavery every day. It ended in 1865. This is 2020. We got to press forward. Our ancestors, they went through a lot. They died for us to be able to be here right now.
Yes.
And the best country on planet Earth.
Yes.
Take advantage of what we have right now,
Right.
rather than looking in the past and saying, oh, well, woe is me because of slavery.
Right.
You know, there have been other groups of people.
I know that he doesn't mean it this way because I've talked to him before, but that's if somebody else were to say that, my black slave ancestors died so I could be on the best planet or on the best country, in the best country on the planet Earth today. It's actually a white nationalist dog whistle. Richard Spencer has said that in debates before, like, well, was it really so bad that blacks were enslaved? It's better that they live in America today than in Africa, right? But it's unintentionally he's doing it, but it's funny. I don't think he's doing it intentionally, but it's a funny meme.
People in slavery all throughout the world, they can't just stay in that state. So people, a lot of times, they stay right in that place, and others are being able to pass them because mentally they've moved on while others have not.
They constantly use slavery to put them in a victim mentality. We can't accomplish this because you enslaved my ancestors. Slaves were taught English. Slaves were taught how to become managers and secretaries and cooks and chauffeurs and how to
All right, this is way more white nationalist talking points now.
build water tanks and all sorts of things. We're here now.
Yo, okay. All right. I really think, honestly, colonialism didn't teach us anything because we came from a society that was living and running. So I don't think we need to get over slavery. I think we need to talk about the repercussions of it, like generational trauma, like the system that exists because of it. I don't think we should use it as a crutch
There you go.
as for ambivalence, or yeah, to hold yourself back, you know what I mean? I think it is a mindset as well.
I think one of the most dangerous aspects of generational advancement is misinformation. I think a lot of young people, especially young men, especially young African American men and women, often have questions about why things are the way they are? Why do I get treated this way? Why has my mother gone through this? Or why has my grandmother gone through this? Well, it all comes down to the repercussions of slavery. And so I think that just getting over something, I think is just absolutely ridiculous. And so when I hear people say that, especially my fellow African American people and friends, I think it's ridiculous. Just getting over something as serious as that, I think just plays into the whole idea of it just didn't matter anyway.
So how long do we continue to harp on it? How long do we continue? Forever?
Well,
do we never get over it?
Oh, do you mean educate? Educate is
Education is fine. To know history is one thing. To not get over a thing
to
is
use it
something
as a
else.
crutch.
You can't minimize
You can't get
slavery.
credit.
Who says that though?
But I listened to both of you, and I even thought maybe I'll stay out of this one.
No.
But
They're having the same fight that I have on stream. This is super common. So, in one hand, on talking to a personal level, the conservatives are right. You can't just blame slavery for your entire life infinitely. You're fucking yourself so hard by doing that. You have to move forward. You have to, right? But institutionally or systemically on the policy level, you can't just ignore slavery and pretend that, oh, well, I guess black people are born in prison today because LOL, that's just the way they are, right? So, like, it's two sides of the same coin, but people never seem to realize that they're talking past each other when they do this. Yeah.
But the notion of ending the discussions on slavery, they haven't begun. We just got the lynching memorial in Alabama. We just got the African American Smithsonian in DC. You cannot go to Germany and walk more than a mile without seeing some sort of tribute to the Holocaust, some sort of apology, some sort of marker.
This argument is shit. I don't think black people give a fuck. Well, I can't speak for all black people or any black people, really. I would be surprised if a black person gave a fuck about a memorial set up in some place. It's probably more like, I don't want the cops to harass me, and I don't feel like I get fucked at work for being black. I'm pretty sure those are more important issues to a black person than which memorials or apology memorabilia get set up or whatever. But
The United States does not acknowledge slavery in that way. We are beginning to discuss, but we can't get over it until white folks acknowledge it.
Being black should not influence a political view.
So,
Of course not.
yeah, being black should not really influence how you think politically, because what's good for us as black folks should be the same as everybody else. It should be from the point of view.
that's mind-numbingly fucking stupid. Different groups of people have different needs. Different groups of people have been treated differently in the United States. Black people weren't discriminated against in the past because they were poor. They were discriminated against because they were black. Well, you know, like the issues that you address different communities with is going to vary based on the history of that community in the United States.
Of me being an American and wanting the best for me in America.
I will vote for the best person that is running. And so far it's been, in my situation, it's been Republicans, conservative Republicans.
I vote based on the issues that I care about, and the issues that I care about stem from my personal experiences as someone that was raised in a conservative
Hold on, I need to open a window. It's super fucking hot in here.
household. I have different views on certain things. I have different views on pro-life and pro-choice issues. I have different views on economic issues. I have different views on trade and foreign policy. I don't think that skin color should have anything to do with a political view.
I would say I definitely don't vote for candidates just because they're black. Ben Carson
We
could
agree
never
on
get my
something.
vote. However, I do feel very much a part of a group. I feel like I have a shared history with black people and descendants of slaves in this country, and so I do not vote just based on what's okay for me.
I think people should vote for what's in the best interest of them, and I don't think that skin color should dictate on what your interest should be based on skin color.
Did you ever vote your religious belief
Yes.
on abortion?
Have I ever voted my religious beliefs on abortion?
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
And what's your religious belief on abortion?
We're not even talking about abortion. It's nothing to do with this
No, but
conversation.
it's black.
We have nothing to do with this conversation.
The majority of abortions are done to the black race.
This is an ABL talking point. I argued with him about this because he says that since so many abortions are done to black people, that abortion is like a black genocide, basically. It's another common talking point. And then you cite like that Mary, whoever the fuck the woman that talked about it a long time ago, was like, she wanted to murder all black people. That's how they did it.
Well, I
So,
want to ask you.
you should
You
be
said
interested in answering that question.
Really quick, I want to ask you because you said you wanted to leave slavery behind. You wanted
Yeah.
to get over it, but
I didn't say forget it. Yeah.
You said to get over it. I'm saying
Get over
Oh,
it.
Margaret
Let's not
Sanger,
forget
yeah.
it.
You're a
And
Christian.
I
Or
still say
Sanger?
teach
Sanger?
it.
You're a Christian,
Yes, I am.
and where do you think we got that?
You ready?
Got what?
Almost.
Christianity.
Christianity goes all the way back to the beginning of time.
So where did we learn it though?
Where did we learn it? Well, the Egyptians had religions, the Jewish taught
No,
religion.
where
You
did
mean
the
in
You got Christianity from slave owners, right? Is that?
African
America.
diaspora?
In America.
Your lineage, yeah.
Um,
Slavery, right?
They learned it from slavery.
Through slavery, right.
Slaves also brought
We gotta get
religion
over
with
it,
them when they came, so it was a mixture of everybody's religion.
I'm
But
just throwing the
they
Bible.
learned how to read. So what they learned how to read was the Holy Bible.
Oh, we knew.
And either you're going to believe the Holy
we
Bible
knew
or
how to
you're
read.
not.
We knew how to read.
I believe you know how to read what? Arabic, what? Because it wasn't English. That's my saying. I'm in America now. Everybody should speak English.
Whoa.
Is that a hot take? Damn, we gotta speak English in America.
This is the most conservative view that I have, that I'll defend to the death, is I think that there should be national languages. I think that everybody in a given country should have to speak the same language. I think that should be a requirement. I think that there is I would be in favor of gender abolition before like having a multilingual country where some people can't speak like the national language. I think it just causes so much fucking shit. For my personal experience on this, so for me personally, I can get along with any group of people. I can feel okay with any group of people. I don't care if I'm with all Asians, with all Hispanic people, with all black people, wherever the fuck I am. The only thing that makes me feel alienated is when I'm out and about in an area and nobody there speaks the language. Like I actually start to feel like, now me personally, I don't care, but I could totally understand why certain people living in a country be like, wait, this is fucked up. What the fuck? I don't even know what these people are saying. I could definitely understand that. Yeah.
I support the Black Lives Matter movement.
What do you think what specific problems do you think having non-English people? I think in terms of like having like a society that's somewhat cohesive, I think it's just good that everybody can speak the same language. I just think it makes everything so much easier. It's such a massive benefit to having everybody in a country be able to read and speak the same stuff, and the signs are the same, and the TV programs are the same, and the culture is more shared. I think it's so much more beneficial for everybody to be on board with the same language.
Well, I am a public defender for 17 years. I work in the criminal justice system. I see a lot of the behind the scenes when it comes to police brutality. So I'm a strong Black Lives Matter supporter.
Grew up in Compton. My parents were born and raised there. Even as a child, when they had the riots for Rodney King, we had to move to Hampton. Yeah, it was something that, it was the first time I knew that it was wrong, the way the police, how they police the towns. It was the first time I got a sense of injustice.
I'm just interested, since you identify as conservative, I was surprised to.
I think for clarification, you should feel that everyone should be able to understand English, not that everyone should be forced to speak it. I mean, understand it, speak it. I mean, I don't know how you would go about enforcing it. I just know that like, I think when I was in New Zealand, I think there was like a Chinese holiday going on, and there were like entire parts of Auckland that were all Chinese. Like the writing was in Chinese, everybody there spoke Chinese, and like, again, for me personally, I don't really give a fuck because I don't care about culture or fitting in with anybody or whatever because I'm a fucking loner. But that's just me. But I could understand somebody living there going through these areas and feeling like, wait, what the fuck?
Don't
Like,
woof.
I live here and I don't know what anybody is saying or talking about. I don't even know. Like, even if I wanted to be like supportive and celebrate this holiday with these people or encourage us, I don't even know what's going on. Like, I can understand that feeling of alienation for sure. I think it's fair.
See you come over and how that lines up with your political views, or maybe just what your definition of conservative is.
Since the movement started, I've been torn For far too long, we've had the police on the right, and we've had Black lives, the African American community and the Black community on the left, and it's just constant fighting. And so I support the movement. I support the agenda. I support the mission. I just have not always supported the way that mission agenda was being carried out.
I agree with the fact that Black lives do matter. I think we all agree on that. That's something that nobody.
Is that really fair to want from others when you only speak one language? I mean, I speak English, which is kind of the language of the United States. I know we don't have a country language, but I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, if I learned a second language, does that make my argument more legitimate? It doesn't.
Nobody's going to deny it, but it's the tactics. I don't like the tactics. I mean, I saw it in 2015, the Freddie Gray situation, also with Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. You burning neighborhoods down, you're tearing things apart.
I have people who will say, well, the percentage of blacks that are being killed is high. And I said, where'd you get that from? Well, we see it on TV all the time. But the ones who are not shown on television is in a much higher bracket of being shot quicker than a black man would. And that's shown with the FBI statistics.
Black Lives Matter as an organization is about peaceful protest and is about bringing awareness. There's no Black Lives Matter organizer who's ever looted a CVS. There's no Black Lives Matter organizer who has ever advocated for violence. So in terms of saying, look, I see somebody black on the TV who is upset about the murder of a young black male, that's not the same as saying Black Lives Matter is therefore responsible. Likewise, I'm not sure which FBI statistics, but African American men are definitely the most killed by police. It's a very specific statistic. Police aren't killing white folks like that.
We can't just leave it there and say, well, we're being killed more, therefore it's a problem with race. Why are we being killed more by the police? Is there a
Because we're over-policed. There's more police in our communities.
What does that mean?
It means that the ratio, the number of police, at any given time where I live, I am going to see police officers every hour. I'm going to see patrol vehicles in a way that I don't see when I'm in predominantly white neighborhoods. Statistically, and this is actually my line of research, black youth are seen as 4 to 5 years older. We're seen as scary, we're seen as intimidating. So that's why you see situations like Tamir Rice. You see police reacting quickly with lethal force
He had a gun. Looked like it was real though, you know.
He was, but there was no one there. Let's say he had a real gun. Why couldn't the police say stop? He was killed in less than 15 seconds, a 12-year-old boy
But he was pointing the gun
with a
at
BB
people.
gun.
But
No,
it
he
didn't
was
look like
not.
I love BLM and everything they stand for, but I hate it when they choose bad role models. If she's thinking of the case that I'm thinking of, if you whip out a BB gun and you aim it at a cop, you're gonna die, dude. It's hard to feel like the cops were like too hesitant. Like, you can die so fucking fast in an altercation where somebody pulls a gun out of their pocket and shoots you. Like, to try to make the evaluation, maybe they're talking about a different BB gun case or whatever, and I'm not thinking of the right one. Does anybody have a link to the actual story that she's talking about it? I would have to see the details of this specific one. Pull up the Tamir Rice video. Hold on, let me check. In the one that I was thinking of, somebody had like a BB gun, but they had removed so my understanding is that all airsoft, all BB guns typically have you have like an orange piece of tape on the end to signify like, hey, this isn't a real gun, by the way, like it's a BB gun. But the person that had this gun had actually removed the orange markings from it. I don't know if that was a more recent one or it's plastic, but yes. Or yeah, an orange piece of plastic or whatever. Don't aim fake guns at cops. Although I don't know if this guy did it. Maybe he didn't.
Let's check.
Sorry, what? Hold on.
Like, when I had a BB gun when I was that age, and it looked real too. And you know, my parents told me, do not go outside with that. And I'm in the all black area. Do not go outside with that and point it at people because it looked real. And why do you think they did that?
Hopefully because they recognize that as a black boy, you're gonna be targeted.
We could do a whole podcast on that one right there. I mean, I wanted to go in.
Barack Obama did good things for black Americans.
No, is no one gonna move on this one? Damn. Oh, ABL coming forward.
Obama didn't do much for Black Americans or for Americans in general. But what he did do was one very important thing that I got to give him credit for, and that was to say that you can be Black and be the president of the United States. This whole excuse of, well, I can't do anything because I'm Black and slavery, I'm not trying to hear it no more. You had the first Black president, the Black wife, the Black kids, all that good stuff for 2 terms. Not once, it wasn't a fluke, 2 terms.
Obama has done more damage to the African American race than any of the other presidents. He came into the presidency lying. He lied to our faces to get elected. Then once in, he disavowed. He just forgot about the blacks, first of all of us. Obama didn't do anything but an abomination to us, to this whole nation.
Yo,
I mean, I agree with what you said. You know, he did a lot of damage. And the main thing that I remember from his term was when he had Black Lives Matter in the White House while Ferguson was happening, while it was happening. Hey, you guys are doing a great job out there.
Whoa.
You guys are doing fantastic. Didn't say, hey, tone down the rhetoric a little bit maybe because you got some problems. Nope, you guys are doing a great job. Keep on going.
So Obama was a representation of something important, but also I think the whole thing is a big puppet show, and you know, I wasn't really sure.
Amen, brother.
I'm never really sure what's going on behind the scenes, so we don't know what kind of deals are being made.
I do think that there was people that benefited from some policies that Obama put in place.
Homosexuals.
And I also believe that there were people that did not benefit. And so I think that there are obviously good things about the Obama presidency, and there's things that I disagree with the Obama presidency. So.
We got to educate you, young brother.
Educate me?
Yes.
Did you go to college?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
Southern University in Pepperdine.
What did you study?
Political science, law enforcement, social studies. Social studies is what I teach in social science, masters.
It shows.
The Black community.
Wait, what do you mean it shows? Wait, what? That sounded like a lot of education.
Should accept LGBTQ plus rights.
I am not only a philosophical
He was being sarcastic? Oh, okay.
conservative, but I'm
Fuck, we're on so many levels of irony these days, I don't know where we're at anymore.
also a religious conservative. And I believe that God made everyone in his image. And I also believe that we as Christians aren't people to judge. And so who are we, or who is anyone, to deny someone their rights as a person based off of what their sexual orientation is, or how they identify, or the lifestyle that they choose to live?
You know, I'm a part of the LGBT community. I'm transgender, so I was born female, now I present male and male.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah, it was an interesting road, even getting my family to understand, you know, who I was at times. So I think it was like they didn't want me.
Wait, real quick.
for lack of-
This is a female to male trans person. One of the funniest things to me when conservatives talk about how they don't want trans people going into bathrooms and raping little girls because they think that that's all trans people want to do. I would love to see a person like this be like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the female bathroom with your little daughter now. Like, bye. Like, what do you think a conservative would say if they saw that? Like, wait, hold on. Wait. Okay, hold on. Not you. Like, what do you think they would say? You know, like, oh, hey, I'm in the, hey, saw your daughter in there, said hi, peace.
better terms, to have another cross to bear, which was what they felt like it was another burden or a condition that would make me less than. But really, intrinsically, like, we're all worthy.
Okay, human rights is one thing. Sexual rights is a whole nother thing.
Ooh.
The majority of the black community are religious. When it goes against their beliefs, no, it shouldn't happen. And gluttony is part of the human race. People glutton too much. And the LGBTXYZ, whatever, they're gluttoned.
All right, now my viewpoint on the thing about LGBT rights, what are we talking about exactly? I want to be very specific with this particular thing because when I hear that, I'm thinking about Dwayne Wade's son. He's 12 years old. Do you think a 12-year-old boy should be able to call himself transgender? Is that what we're going to do? Do we think that we should have 4- and 5-year-old children on puberty blockers, hormone blockers, because they think at that age they're transgender?
So one thing that I think is really hard when you're arguing, especially for cases that are outside the norm. So everything with LGBT stuff is pretty outside the norm. I think it's really hard not to get baited into like defending very edge case celebrity things. So like for me personally, I think that if like a 12 or 13-year-old is like questioning and wants to do like puberty blockers and all of that, first of all, I don't think they get puberty blockers for a fucking 5-year-old. But like an 11 or 12 or 13-year-old wants to do like puberty blockers because they're having serious doubts or like some big gender incongruence, I think that that's fine. But to have like a huge coming out party for your 12-year-old who thinks that they're trans or feels trans, that sounds really unhealthy to me, especially because under my understanding is that the majority of people that go on puberty blockers end up remaining their gender past puberty because they feel comfortable, like they get through whatever they're working through in their teenage years. That seems like a lot of pressure to put on somebody. Like, hey, I came out as trans, I'm 12, have a big party. And then you're like 13, 14, you're like, no, fuck, like, I really don't think I have those feelings. And now you're like, holy shit, like, did you do it for the attention? Are you fake trans? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think that that's really fucking cringe. Remember that when you're trying to defend these issues, I get baited into this all the time. So I'm not saying it's perfect, but try not to defend like very niche issues and make it like that's the general conversation. Like 12-year-olds on puberty blockers because they're having like doubts about maybe their assigned sex at birth, that's totally fine if you need to figure that out. But like the massive coming out parties and being trans at 12 years old, and you're celebrating it, like, oof, that's a really big push. I don't know if I would defend that one. That's like a lot more. That's way further down the line. You don't need to be supportive of that person to be supportive of adolescents that want to be on puberty blockers to figure their gender stuff out going through.
You can't even get a tattoo under the age of 18. You can't smoke.
Where are these massive coming out parties? Well, they were talking about, is it Dwayne Wade? I don't remember. Some is it a basketball player's son, daughter, trans child had like a big coming out thing like on social media, and it was like a really big Dwayne Wade, yeah, it was a really big thing, but that seems like not very appropriate.
Cigarettes, you can't drink beer. If somebody wants to be gay, trans, whatever, as an adult, that's fine. My uncle, my favorite uncle, died of AIDS, was gay. That was my dog, 100%. If you gay, that's your business. I don't care. That's you. That's not me. That's you. When we're talking about LGBT rights, what do we mean?
I mean, I think it's the right to exist. Dwayne Wade's daughter knows exactly who she is. And
12.
And she doesn't.
Right, and there's definitely research that says that, anybody under 25 years old, that your brain is not fully formed.
Thing is, I knew when I was small, right? As soon as I could talk, I was pretty much telling my parents, like, these were the things that I was feeling and what I knew about myself. When you start to self-actualize, you start at that age. You start at the early ages. So if you look at like psychosomatics of children, they start to voice and self-actualize in toddler stages. We're just saying, opening it up. If they're voicing themselves, okay, you're voicing yourself, and as a parent, I just give you a platform to flourish and bloom as you do. And then when you're an adult, if that's the decision the parent wants to make, you can do what you want, sure. That's the decision my parents said.
Did you kind of say what he said?
So you kind of like on the same page with me. Like
This is what my parents did. You do what you want when you're out of the house. But the thing is, if my parents had the resources and the education that they do now, they would have probably allowed me to, they would have offered me a decision that would have helped me, live my life.
But you can't say that because it didn't happen.
It didn't, but it can now. Because we have
There's a
those resources
possibility?
now. We have those resources now.
You
There
think they
would have
would?
been if they had the resources that they have now, definitely. All you gotta do is listen. You're just listening.
I have felt excluded from the black community.
Probably the first aspect of being excluded from the black community is by the way I talk. So I was adopted to a Caucasian family. I was raised around in a completely different culture than what most African American people are raised in or around. Where the black community is saying, look, you don't believe like us, you don't think like us, you don't vote like us, and so you're not one of us.
I felt excluded as well, you know, with the queerness, transness, you know, when people get to know me and learn that, then they're just like, oh yeah, oh, I can't be doing all that gay shit, blah, blah. Like, you hear a lot of different stuff, you know. Being anything doesn't make you any less black.
Just by being conservative, friends that I had coming up in the black community, people that I known from just being out and around in Virginia, some of them kind of turn their back on you, or you want to support Trump, you hate black folks, all this, that, and the third. Now I feel like some of that's kind of going away because a person like me being a black Trump supporter is less of a novelty at this particular point. Now it's kind of like a normal thing, but we're not all the same. We know we're not a monolith. Everybody have their own, we are our own people.
We're a diverse group of people. I mean, and I play hockey. So a lot of people are like, man, black people don't do that, man.
We do
Come
everything.
on, man. Black people don't do that. I'm like, hey, man, black people do everything,
we can't do, man.
So-
We do it all.
I've never been outside of or excluded from my race. I'm cool with everybody in my race, and I'm cool with everybody in other races. I ran for political office. I've been member of Park Mesa Heights Neighborhood Council.
Did you win?
I did.
Good.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I represented Hyatt Park.
I wanted
Jesus.
to say something. Even though I have felt excluded before, black people in my life have been the most welcoming, loving, giving people that I witnessed, you know, regardless of, you know, my background as well. So there's been two ends of the spectrum for sure.
The reason why I came here all the way from Pennsylvania to do this is to show the world that all of us, regardless of our skin color or the way we think politically, we are so diverse. We're so diverse. Just because I identify as a conservative doesn't mean I'm agree with you or agree with you. Just because you identify as a liberal doesn't mean you're going to disagree with me on everything. We found ourselves agreeing with a lot today.
Common ground is that word.
It's called middle ground.
Right, middle ground. Yeah, but
That's it for today.
Nice meeting you all.
Wow.
God bless you all.
Yeah, so I mean, like, obviously, I completely disagree with you, but I understand with what you're saying, right? So, like, my statement